Hello my dudes! Buckle up because we're diving into the world of Han Geu Ru from Move to Heaven. This dude's got Asperger's syndrome, making him a straight up genius with a memory sharper than my mom's criticisms. He works as a trauma cleaner, sorting through the lives of the departed, which is kinda like cleaning up after a bender, but with more feelings and less vomit. Geu Ru's all about that order and routine, which, let's be real, is something my chaotic brain could use. His life takes a wild turn when his ex-convict uncle, Cho Sang-gu, crashes in as his new guardian. It's like The Odd Couple, but with more dead people and emotional baggage. So grab a bag of shrimp chips and let's break down this legend's journey, his quirks, and how he manages to keep it together better than I ever could. Geu Ru's old man, Han Geu Ru, was his rock. They ran the family business Move to Heaven together. But life never goes as planned and Geu Ru died suddenly from cardiac arrest. Turns out he had a heart condition he never told Geu Ru about. Classic dad move, right? Leave your kid with a business and a boatload of unresolved feelings. Enter Cho Sang-gu, Geu Ru's estranged uncle fresh out of the slammer. This guy's the polar opposite of Geu Ru. Rough around the edges, smokes like a chimney, and has a past darker than the spots under my eyes. He's assigned as Geu Ru's guardian, and let's just say their initial cohabitation is rockier than that punk rock band you like. Geu Ru's world is all about routines. He eats the same breakfast every day, listens to classical music while working, and has a thing for aquariums. Fish are his jam. When he's stressed, he rattles off fish facts to calm down. Despite his challenges, Geu Ru's got a heart of gold. He believes in honoring the deceased by delivering their most cherished belongings to their loved ones. He assembles these items into a yellow box, a final care package from beyond the grave. It's his mission to ensure these mementos find their rightful homes, even if he has to play detective to do it. As Geu Ru and Sang-gu tackle various cleaning jobs, they uncover stories of love, regret, and everything in between. Each case helps them grow closer, healing their own wounds in the process. It's like therapy, but with more bleach and rubber gloves. Over time, Sang-gu starts to soften. He sees the world through Geu Ru's eyes and begins to understand the importance of their work. Their relationship evolves from awkward roommates to something resembling a family. It's a bromance for the ages, forged in the crucible of grief and grime. Geu Ru operates like clockwork, but not in a robotic kind of way. It's more like an intricate human Swiss watch. Everything he does has a purpose, which is wild considering I can't even find a purpose for the laundry that's been on my floor for a week. His need for order and routine isn't just quirky, it's how he survives a world that constantly bombards him with noise, unpredictability, and people who think winging it is a legitimate strategy. Here's the thing though, Geu Ru's obsession with rules doesn't make him boring. Far from it. It makes him grounded. Watching him organize items, you realize he's not just arranging physical objects. He's organizing emotional weight. Every sock, photo, or broken watch he places into a yellow box isn't just stuff. It's someone's life distilled. Meanwhile, I can barely organize my thoughts long enough to reply to texts. But what's fascinating is how Geu Ru adjusts. When his wild card of an uncle rolls in, Geu Ru's forced to adapt. Not just to chaos, but to a human hurricane who smokes indoors and probably thinks vegetables are optional. Sang-gu tests Geu Ru's boundaries in ways that make me wonder if I should start charging my emotionally draining friends rent. And yet, Geu Ru learns to bend ever so slightly without breaking. That's resilience right there, something I could have used the last time my internet went down and I had a meltdown. Geu Ru's life revolves around choice, his own and the ones people make before they die. Every time he sorts through a deceased person's belongings, he's faced with choices that force him to ask, what truly matters? And bro, if that doesn't hit you right in the existential gut, I don't know what will. Take that one case with the neglected old lady and her son. Geu Ru could have just packed up the woman's stuff and moved on, but nah, this guy doesn't do things halfway. He dives into the backstory, connecting the dots like some emotional Sherlock Holmes, and ends up reuniting the son with his mom's memories. Meanwhile, I get overwhelmed just deciding between Uber Eats or DoorDash. But Geu Ru's choices aren't always smooth sailing. There are moments where he hesitates, when he's unsure whether digging too deep into someone's life is even his place. Bro, relatable. Ever had a friend vent to you and suddenly you're like, do I give advice or just nod and hope they don't cry? That's Guru constantly tiptoeing the line between respecting someone's privacy and honoring their unspoken wishes. And honestly, he does it better than I ever could. Alright, let's talk about the heart of this drama, Guru's relationships. Starting with his dad, their bond was pure goals. Dad didn't just raise Guru, he understood him. He created a world where Guru's differences weren't just tolerated, but celebrated. That's next level parenting, dude. When he dies, it's not just a loss. It's like someone pulled the rug out from under Guru's perfectly aligned universe. And yeah, it wrecked me. Then there's Han Geu, the uncle nobody asked for but everyone needed. On the surface, this guy's a mess, cynical, gruff, and with a moral compass that's perpetually stuck spinning. But Han Geu's not just a chaotic addition. He's the catalyst for Guru's growth. Watching the relationship evolve is like watching a mismatched buddy cop movie, except with more feels and fewer car chases. The turning point? When Han Geu starts respecting Guru's way of seeing the world. It's subtle at first, like a small moment where Han Geu pauses before lighting up a cigarette in Guru's space. But bro, those tiny shifts speaks volumes. By the end, their relationship is less about guardian and ward and more about two broken dudes helping each other heal. Han Geu learns patience, Guru learns flexibility. It's like they're the emotional yin to each other's yang. Or in simpler terms, they're the pizza and ranch of relationships. Unexpected, but they work together. And let's not forget Namu, the neighbor who's got more protective instincts than a mama bear. She's Guru's friend, but let's be real, she's also his shield against a world that can be unkind. Namu's ride or die energy is something we all need, especially when life feels like one giant group project where nobody else is doing their part. She pushes Guru to step outside his comfort zone while respecting his boundaries, which honestly is relationship goals right there. Guru's arc isn't about fixing himself, it's about growing. Bro starts the series as a guy with a tightly controlled life, and by the end, he's embraced the chaotic, unpredictable beauty of human connection. And yeah, it's a slow burn, but that makes it hit even harder. One of the standout moments? When Guru decides to take on a case involving a young man who was disowned by his family for being gay. The dude's story is heartbreaking, but it's Guru's reaction that really gets you. He doesn't judge, doesn't preach. He just listens, learns, and does what he can to honor the guy's life. Watching him navigate the complexities of other people's pain is like taking a good hard look at your own empathy levels. Mine could use some work. Another pivotal moment is when Guru confronts Han Geu about his past. Instead of spiraling into anger or shutting down, moves I'm all too familiar with, Guru processes it in his own way. He doesn't forgive Han Geu immediately, but he doesn't write him off either. It's this delicate balance of holding someone accountable while giving them the space to change. Bro, if I had an ounce of that emotional maturity, my group chats would be a lot less awkward. And then there's the way Guru deals with his own grief. Dude doesn't just wallow, he channels it into his work. Every case he takes on becomes a way to process his dad's death, one yellow box at a time. It's like he's saying, yeah, life sucks, but let's make something meaningful out of it. Meanwhile, I cope with stress by binging Netflix or Viki and pretending my problems don't exist. Guru's approach is definitely healthier, even if it's way harder. Let's talk about the yellow box, bro. It's not just a box. It's a symbol of closure, healing, and all the messy emotions we'd rather shove under the rug. For Guru, every item he places inside is a piece of someone's story, a way to say, you mattered. And honestly, that's something we all want, isn't it? To know we mattered, even when we're gone. What's wild is how the yellow box becomes a mirror for Guru's own journey. At first, it's just a task, something his dad taught him to do. But over time, it transforms into something deeper. With every box he completes, Guru heals a little more. Not just for the people he's helping, but for himself. And bro, the irony in all this? The dude who spends his life honoring the dead is also the one who teaches the living how to cope. Guru's work is a constant reminder that life's messy, unpredictable, and sometimes downright brutal. But it's also beautiful, meaningful, and worth fighting for. What really stood out to me was the sheer weight of emotional labor Guru takes on. Cleaning up after someone has passed isn't just about scrubbing the physical mess. It's about dealing with the echoes of their life. Each item he carefully packs into those yellow boxes isn't just junk. It's proof that someone existed, loved, hurt, and mattered. And here's the kicker. This dude shoulders all of that without complaint. Meanwhile, I get overwhelmed if someone asks me to hold their dog while they tie their shoes. Watching Geu Ru do this work with such reverence and care made me think about how emotionally lazy I can be. It's like if someone handed me the metaphorical yellow box of their life, would I even know what to do with it? I'm guessing not, because I'd probably spiral into existential dread halfway through. But Geu Ru, he just does it. And honestly, it hit me like a truck to see how much this kind of emotional labor takes a toll. There were moments when he clearly felt the weight of it all. Like when a case became too personal, or when someone's story mirrored his own grief. And let's not forget Sang-gu, who's basically the human equivalent of emotional baggage that smokes Marlboros. Even that dude starts to crack under the pressure, and he's supposed to be the tough guy. Grief is a weird thing, man. You don't just get over it. It hangs around like an uninvited party guest who's raided your fridge and refuses to leave. Watching Geu Ru carry his grief for his father while also processing the grief of every person whose life he touches, bro, that's heavy. It's the kind of stuff that makes you wonder how anyone keeps it together. Spoiler, most of us don't, we just fake it really well. There's this moment in the show where Geu Ru finds something of his dad's, a little memento tucked away, and you can see how it wrecks him. He doesn't have to say a word. His face does all the talking. That hit me hard because I've been there. I've stumbled across something random, a voicemail, an old hoodie, and suddenly I've been sucker punched by a wave of memories I wasn't ready for. It's a reminder that grief doesn't work on a schedule. It's not linear, it's not predictable, and it sure as hell doesn't care about your to-do list. What really got me though was how normal the show made this all feel. It wasn't preachy or over-dramatized, it was just raw and real. Like, yeah, sometimes you're fine, and other times you're crying over a pair of socks that reminded you of someone you lost. And that's okay. One of the things that kept coming back to me was how hard Geu Ru has to work to connect with people. Not because he's bad at it, but because the world isn't exactly built for someone like him. And let's be honest, most of us suck at connecting with people even when we don't have Geu Ru's challenges. The relationship between Geu Ru and Sang-gu really drove this home. At first, they're basically oil and water. Sang-gu doesn't understand Geu Ru's routines, and Geu Ru doesn't know what to do with Sang-gu's unpredictability. It's awkward and messy as hell. But over time, you see them start to meet in the middle. Sang-gu learns patience and Geu Ru learns to let a little chaos into his life. Watching them navigate that was like getting a masterclass in how to bridge gaps between people who couldn't be more different. It also made me think about my own relationships and how often I avoid doing the hard work of connecting. It's so much easier to retreat into my comfort zone, especially when my brain decides to throw a surprise party for my anxiety at 2 AM. But watching Geu Ru and Sang-gu find a way to understand each other made me realize that maybe it's worth stepping out of my bubble once in a while, or at least texting back the group chat I've been ignoring. One of the most haunting parts of the show is how it forces you to think about the stuff you leave behind. Not just the physical things, but the unspoken words, unresolved conflicts, and unfinished business. Every case Geu Ru works on is a reminder that we're all walking around with stories we may never get to finish. There was one episode where a guy's hidden life comes to light after he dies, and it's heartbreaking because he never got to be fully himself while he was alive. That hit me like a freight train. How many parts of myself am I keeping hidden? How many things have I left unsaid because I'm too scared or too stubborn? It's a sobering thought, bro. And let's not even get started on the physical clutter we leave behind. Watching Geu Ru meticulously sort through someone's belongings made me think about my own apartment. If I died tomorrow, would someone find meaning in my half-empty bottles of sriracha and random assortment of computer cables I refuse to throw away? Probably not. But maybe there's something deeper in there. A playlist I made for a road trip, a book I never finished, a video essay that I was still working on. That says something about who I was. Watching Geu Ru navigate his world, it's clear he's built a system to cope with life's chaos. His routines, his aquarium, his reliance on structure, they're all survival tools. And honestly, same. But the show also highlights the cracks in those systems. When something disrupts Geu Ru's routine, whether it's Sang-gu moving in or a case that hits too close to home, you can see how much it shakes him. It's a reminder that no matter how well we think we've got it together, life has a way of throwing curveballs that shatter our illusions of control. And then there's Sang-gu, whose mental health is basically a dumpster fire he's been ignoring for years. The dude's clearly battling demons, and instead of dealing with them, he's been numbing himself with cigarettes and apathy. It's only through Guru's influence that he starts to confront his pain. Watching that unfold made me think about how often we avoid dealing with our own baggage until it's staring us in the face. And by we, I mean me. One of the most beautiful things about Guru is his unwavering commitment to doing the right thing, even when it's hard. Each case he takes on is an act of kindness, a way of saying, your life mattered. And in a world that often feels like it's spinning out of control, that kind of goodness hits different. It's not flashy or dramatic, it's quiet and consistent. Guru doesn't need recognition or applause. He just does what needs to be done. That kind of humility is rare, and it made me question how often I let my own ego get in the way of doing good. Like, do I help people because I genuinely care, or because I want to feel like a hero? Food for thought, bro. Alright bro, let's get serious for a second. Here's the big question that Moved to Heaven threw at me like a dodgeball I didn't see coming. If someone had to tell your story after you're gone, what would they say? And more importantly, would it even matter to you now? This drama smacks you right in the feels because it makes you realize that the answer to this isn't about fame, fortune, or a killer social media following. It's about the quiet moments, the relationships, and the impact you leave behind on the people who actually knew you. Yeah, I know it sounds like some Hallmark card wisdom, but stick with me here. There's more to it than that. In the show, Guru goes through people's life after they're gone and he finds meaning in their belongings. A worn out shoe, a photo, even a grocery receipt. The weird part, it's not just about the stuff. It's about the why behind the stuff. What mattered to them? Who mattered to them? These random objects tell stories of love, regret, joy, and pain. And let me tell you, watching it unfold made me take a good hard look at my own pile of crap. Like, I have this drawer of random keepsakes I never touch. A movie ticket, a stupid souvenir keychain from a trip I barely remember, and for some reason, a single sock that doesn't even match anything I own. If someone had to piece together my life from that, what would they think? Probably that I was some confused, disorganized dude who should have done his laundry more often. But on a deeper level, it made me wonder. Am I living in a way that leaves a legacy anyone could even find meaning in? Or am I just treading water, keeping my head above life's chaos without leaving a ripple? One of the hardest hitting themes in the show is the power of relationships. It doesn't matter if it's a lifelong bond or a one-time act of kindness. Connections are what define us. Guru's work proves that even the smallest, most fleeting interactions can leave a lasting impression. So here's where I start dragging myself. I suck at maintaining connections. Like, I'll go months without texting my closest friends back because, I don't know, my brain is too busy overanalyzing whether I locked the front door 3 hours ago. Watching Guru meticulously honor people's lives made me realize how lazy I've been about fostering the relationships that matter to me. He digs deep into these strangers' lives not because he has to, but because he genuinely cares. Meanwhile, I'll ghost someone just because I don't feel like explaining why I haven't slept properly in 3 weeks. But here's the thing. Watching Guru and Sang-gu evolve, seeing them go from polar opposites to this weird, dysfunctional but loving family unit made me want to do better. It's not about being perfect, because spoiler alert, none of us are. It's about showing up, being present, and letting people know they matter to you, even when it feels messy or inconvenient. Let's talk legacy, bro. Not in the my name and light sense, but in the sense of what people feel when they think about you. The drama nails this concept by showing that legacy isn't some grand sweeping thing. It's the little moments, the memories, the random acts of kindness that stick with people long after you're gone. That got me thinking, am I doing anything in my life that would make someone feel that way when I'm not around anymore? Or am I just coasting along, hoping my Spotify playlists are enough of a legacy? Now, I'd be lying if I said the show didn't also mess me up in terms of facing my own mortality. It's not just about what you leave behind. It's about what you avoid while you're still here. The show digs into some tough truths about how people handle their pain, their regrets, and their unfinished business. And yeah, it's uncomfortable as hell to watch because it holds up a mirror to all the stuff you'd rather not think about. It's not just the emotional stuff either. The show made me think about the practical side of death. Something none of us want to deal with, but all of us will eventually face. Who's gonna sort through my mess when I'm gone? Who's gonna explain the random crap in my junk drawer or the unopened stack of mail I keep ignoring? It's a morbid thought, but it's one we all have to reckon with eventually. So what do I do with all of this? Honestly, bro, I don't have all the answers. I'm just a guy trying to figure it out, same as everyone else. But Move to Heaven gave me some perspective I didn't know I needed. It made me want to live more intentionally, not in some grand dramatic way, but in the small everyday choices. It made me want to show up for people, even when it's hard, to text back, to apologize when I screw up, to stop pretending like my mental health is just some quirky personality trait and actually do something about it. And maybe to start organizing my junk drawer so whoever has to deal with it someday won't hate me. So here's the final thought I'll leave you with, bro. What's in your yellow box? If someone had to go through your life tomorrow, what would they find? Would it tell a story you'd be proud of, or would it just be a pile of random stuff and missed connections? Think about it, because at the end of the day, the legacy we leave isn't about the stuff we have, it's about the impact we've made. Now go call your mom or hug a friend or do something that matters, bro. Life is too short to leave your yellow box empty. Thanks everyone for watching this video. If you enjoyed what you saw, please don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more content like this. Also be sure to check out my other videos for more insight on other dramas and shows. Your support means a lot to me and it helps me grow this channel. If you have any thoughts, questions, or suggestions for future videos, please drop them in the comments down below. Again, thank you for watching this video and I'll see you next time.